A few months ago, I was helping a friend move into her new apartment. It was this old building, kind of run down, but still livable. She got it cheap, so we didn't question it. We spent the whole day carrying boxes and setting up the furniture, and by the time we finished it was already dark. I ended up staying a bit later than planned, and since she didn't have curtains yet, everything outside was just pitch black through the windows. Around 11 p.m., we heard this loud knock on the door. She wasn't expecting anyone, and there wasn't a peephole, so I told her not to open it. We stayed quiet, hoping whoever it was would just go away. But then the knocking came again, slower this time, and softer. It wasn't like a neighbor or delivery or anything like that. It felt off. We didn't move or make a sound. Eventually, it stopped, and we brushed it off like maybe it was someone at the wrong door. About 20 minutes later, we heard a sound at the window. Her apartment was on the second floor, so it didn't even make sense. But we both froze when we realized it sounded like someone tapping the glass. Not banging, just slow, steady taps. Couldn't see anything outside. It was too dark, and that made it worse. I told her to turn off the lights so we could see out better. But when we did, there was nothing. No one. Just a street light flickering a bit and the empty sidewalk. We ended up calling one of our cousins to come over and stay the night, just in case. When he got there, he checked around the building and actually found a shoe print in the dirt below the window, like someone had climbed the fire escape or something. The worst part was, the next morning, when I left, I noticed a crumbled receipt stuck in the gap of her door frame. I picked it up and it had a weird message scribbled on the back. Just a time and an address. We didn't recognize it. We called the police after that and filed a report, but nothing came of it. She called the police after that and filed a report, but nothing came of it. To this day, I still wonder what would have happened if she opened the door that night. A few weeks ago, I got invited to house sit for my cousin while she and her husband went out of town. It was just for a weekend, and I thought it'd be chill. Free food, a big house, and I could just relax and scroll on my phone without anyone bothering me. The first night was normal. I watched a few movies, ate a ton of snacks, and passed out on their couch. But on the second night, stuff started to feel weird. Around 2 a.m., I was in the kitchen grabbing water when I noticed the back door was slightly open. Not wide open, just barely cracked. At first, I thought I didn't close it properly earlier, so I shut it and locked it again. I didn't think much of it. But like 30 minutes later, I heard something fall in the laundry room. I figured it was just a cat knocking stuff over. But then I remembered my cousin didn't have a cat. That's when I started freaking out a bit. I grabbed a flashlight and checked the laundry room, trying to convince myself it was just something falling on its own. Nothing was there, but the door to the garage was unlocked. I knew I hadn't touched it. I locked it, double-checked all the doors and windows in the house, and tried to calm down. I went back to the living room and tried to fall asleep with the TV on, but I couldn't. I kept hearing little noises, like faint creaks and soft thuds coming from upstairs. I didn't even go up there. I just stayed on the couch, wide awake. The next morning, I saw muddy footprints near the back door leading to the house. They weren't mine. My shoes were clean and still by the front door. I never went out the back. I texted my cousin and told her everything. She told me to get out of the house and go home. Later, she checked her security cams and saw footage of someone entering to the back door around 1 a.m., right before I noticed it open. She turned the footage into the police, but they still don't know who it was. All I know is that someone was in that house while I was asleep on the couch, and I didn't hear them leave. Last year, I was working part-time at a small gas station just outside town. I do night shifts on the weekends when I was slow. It was mostly just me sitting behind the counter, scrolling through my phone and occasionally helping the 1 or 2 people who showed up. One night, around 1 a.m., this old car pulled into the lot. It didn't park by the pumps. It just stopped on the side. Headlights stayed on. No one got out. I thought maybe they were just fixing something or on a call. I kept watching it from the window for a while, but it didn't move. After like 20 minutes, I started getting weirded out. Still, I stayed behind the counter. Then, the store phone rang. That never happens. Like literally never. I picked it up, but there was just silence. Then it clicked off. A few minutes later, I looked out the window again. The car's headlights were off. Still, no one came inside. I stepped outside just a bit to check, and that's when I saw it. Someone was sitting in the driver's seat, but their head was turned, like they were staring directly at me. I couldn't see the face, just the shape. I went back in, locked the door, and stayed low behind the counter. I waited like that for maybe half an hour. When I finally peeked again, the car was gone. I thought that was it. But right before my shift ended, a cop came in to get coffee. I just mentioned the car thing to him, kinda laughing it off. He asked for the details and started acting weirdly serious. He told me there had been a report about a guy matching that car and description. Apparently, he'd follow a girl home from a different gas station the night before. I still think about what would have happened if I had stepped outside just a little further, or if I hadn't locked the door.